to, we'll see him matching up on Monta Ginobili early on. And this is something that they struggled with. They got fortunate there and missed the gimme.
Muhammad felt he was fouled as he misses on the dunk.
Doesn't everybody?
There are a few exceptions.
It's like a tennis player. You hit it out, you got to check the strings. It wasn't me. It couldn't have been me.
Rittenauer trying to use James. And Rittenauer can't hit. Bowen boxing out, can't get it. Reggie Evans tries to take it away, and it's Spurs ball.
Well, that's one thing you know with Reggie Evans. You're going to get consistent effort every night on the offensive glass. He is their energy guy, setting picks, getting to the offensive glass. You got to make sure he's accounted for when that shot goes up.
And he's guarding Tim Duncan. James is on Nazir Muhammad. They go to Duncan right away. Duncan using the glass. Can't hit. Evans does a good job pushing him out a little further than Duncan was.
Well, that's because he's strong. I mean, he is very strong, and he's able to push Tim Duncan out without fouling him.
Allen, of course, with his nemesis Bowen, filing him back from behind. Bruce Bowen with the defensive play.
He never gives up. He never gives up on the play, and he's always going to get after the ball. But you're going to see right here, pick and roll, gets to the middle, the Muhammad backs off, but Bowen just doesn't give up on the play and gets a piece of it.
Shot clock down to 5. Bowen right up on Allen. Allen trying to draw a foul. And here's the foul. Bowen trying to fight over the screen. That shot won't count. They'll inbound as Bowen picks up his first. Nate McMillan, the great Seattle Supersonic player, who's had such a special year with this group. And that's what he talked about them yesterday, right after practice time, and saying, you've got a special moment tomorrow night. And as Allen misfires, Ginobili will come away with it. And this is the type of game as a player, you just live for this type of game, to play in front of your home crowd and try to force a game 7.
And you want to get off to a quick start, give the crowd something to cheer about, and let that adrenaline rush take you along the way.
Duncan lost it. Daniels gets inside. Tough shot. Antonio Daniels.
He doesn't settle for jump shots. He's a guy that will shoot the ball, occasionally a three-pointer, but he's a guy that likes to be aggressive and likes to take it to the defense.
Showing his postseason experience. A pretty pass, but Duncan can't hit, and James the rebound. Spurs 0 for 4 to start. Allen gets inside. Allen pretty close. And just like that, timeout, San Antonio. The way to start a ball game if you're Seattle.
Absolutely. They did some of the things that I think make them very good. When they settle for jump shots without penetration, they can get into a funk. But they've been very aggressive here in the first quarter. Ray Allen taking it strong to the hole. Antonio Daniels has taken it strong to the hole. They're not just settling for jump shots. And they know that Seattle's very conscious of their three-point shooting. They're not going to let him get off on three-pointers, so they're going to have opportunities to drive. They have to take those opportunities. And now, Mike, that sets up collapsing the defense, and now you kick out for jump shots.
Nate McMillan telling the team, I want energy on defense, better ball movement on offense than what he saw in Game 5. And talk about energy, this crowd is really at it. This team fired up from the start.
Well, they play good at home, and they play good defense at home. I mean, on the road sometimes games kind of get away, but at home, the crowd gets them fired up, and they got an athletic group that plays very good defense.
Get over it, count it. As Jerome James with the goaltend.
You got to let those go.
Because that's a difficult shot, and there's a real chance it's not going to go in. So
absolutely,
you have to back off on that.
And sometimes as a big guy, I mean, you're energized, the crowd's going crazy, and you see a ball up in the air, and that's what you do. You're a shot blocker. You know, those are ones you have to try to let go, but you're going to put all the ball to Jerome James to like the aggressiveness.
Well, I was going to say, is Jerome James. Oh, Duncan throws it right back. Shot clock down to 5. And Ray Allen can't get it. James. Marco. Nate McMillan hopping mad. He thought there should have been a foul. Bowen. That's a 2-pointer. But if you're Nate McMillan, as you said, you like how active Jerome James is to start the game.
That's what you want. Nice drive. coach cannot be happy with how they're exploiting the interior of this defense. That's one of the things he tries to do with each team. Keep the teams out of the paint, or they're getting to the paint at will right now.
The Spurs just 1 of 6 from the field to start. Parker foul before the shot won't count, no continuation, and they'll take it out of bounds. You talk to people who've been around watching Sonics basketball for years. Of course, when they won the title, 79, the other trips to the finals when George Karl was the coach, and they're saying that Key Arena has been as loud as they've ever heard Sonic basketball fans.
I've always thought it was a very loud arena, very passionate fans up here, and well, of course the Thundersticks help. Some of these guys have Thundersticks that aren't even blown up.
Muhammad with a nice move. That last foul, by the way, on Ray Allen was his first. And the Spurs pull within 4. Daniels again attacking the basket and draws the foul. It's amazing how good things happen when you go to the goal.
Well, a lot of things happen when you get to the rim. I mean, and you don't even have to get to the rim, Mike. You just get to the paint. You collapse the defense, opens up shots for shooters. If you get to the rim, generally speaking, you've beaten your guy. Now big guy has to come over and help you, open up rebounding lanes. I mean, it's just, you start off that way. You don't want to start off taking jump shots.
Duncan with the foul. And Daniels, as we said, of course, played 4 years in San Antonio and said he learned so much from the veterans there. Guys he talked about, David Robinson, Terry Porter, Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott, but he said his #1 influence in the NBA, and a man he still talks to on a regular basis, was Avery Johnson. He said he went on the road in every road game with Avery Johnson, went to lunch. Johnson took him to lunch every single road game. He also mentioned that Johnson also paid for it. But he says that even now, Johnson is still a big influence on him in his career.
I got to start going out to lunch with Avery more often.
Ginobili and the foul. Reggie Evans with his first, and for Seattle, their second team foul. And with more, let's go to Mark.
Well, Antonio Daniels, guys, still keeps a home back in San Antonio, remains very good friends with one Tim Duncan. In fact, during the course of the series, Daniels told me that they've been out to dinner. He and Duncan have 4 times already. Speaking of picking up dinner tabs, Duncan actually in Antonio Daniels' wedding party just recently as well, guys. Back to you, but it's all business on the court.
Absolutely. Daniels got married this past summer as Allen gets in the paint. High arcing shot from Ray Allen, and he's got 6 quick points.
You see, and he does that a lot where he gets to the middle and he knows where the defender is and he kind of leans back into him. So he tries to close the gap back on you so you can't come over. And if you try to block the shot, a lot of times you'll end up picking up the foul.
He's not just a terrific shooter, but he's a smart player.
Yeah.
Duncan, tough shot.
Nice dude.
So far, the Sonics lead has been very impressive. Would have been his second foul. Rittenauer James not expecting the pass. Shot clock going down, and Nazir Muhammad called for the reach in. Spurs may have gotten a break, though. Duncan absolutely bumped Rittenauer, but it didn't really impede his progress, so they let it go.
Well, Rittenauer goes about $107. And I think if Luke wanted to, he could probably saddle up at the Preakness. Because he's just not a big guy. And even the smallest of the guys that hit him will knock him off balance. But I think a good no call.
Sold out Key Arena for Game 6. A win tonight, they'll play for Seattle, that is. They'll play Game 7 on Sunday afternoon in San Antonio. Daniels inside, Reggie Evans. Evans is fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Once again, the aggressiveness going to the rim. He's been getting to the rim, so now the big guy comes over and helps to drop it off to Reggie Evans. I will say this, that even though Seattle is playing some great basketball right now, this is the type of game San Antonio likes playing in. Not necessarily a slowdown game, because they're not a slowdown team. They like to get on a run. But a game that's kind of a grinded game, ends up being a defensive game, possessions at a premium. I mean, they're used to playing in this type of a game that may be played in the 80s or low 90s.
Reggie Evans is 4 of 10 from the line in this series, knocks that one down. The foul on Barry, his first, and Evans hits a pair, and the Sonics with an 8-point lead. Just past the midway point of the first, Seattle with the perfect start for Nate McMillan. Parker, tough Robert Horry with a beautiful tip. Horry made some big plays in Game 5. Just continues to further his reputation as a big-time playoff performer. Rittenauer a little out of control, and he stepped out of bounds. First turnover for Seattle. Rittenauer felt there was some contact. It's been a physical start, but the officials, at least in the beginning, letting them play a little bit. 5.5 remaining. First quarter really developed, and Allen is a part of that. Certainly the coaching staff as well, but Ray Allen has really guided this team.
Well, I think they have a core here now, Mike. I think with Luke Rittenauer, Rashard Lewis, and Ray Allen, you got a core of guys who you can build around. And you can say, okay, these are our guys. Let's put pieces around them to be successful. If this team wants to move forward and wants to build on the momentum they've attained this year, signing Ray Allen is a must.
Robert Horry for 3. Robert Horry has played in the postseason every year in the NBA, and it's not a coincidence. And he's more than just a shooter. Always a good defender, smart passer. There's the defensive player as well.
Well, you saw, I was just watching him, and he just rotated over. As soon as Jerome James went down the middle, he was the guy that rotated over. It wasn't a very good pass, but he was there for the pick.
Brent Barry, beautiful move, couldn't finish. Barry, of course, spent 5 years in Seattle with the Sonics before signing the free agent deal to go to San Antonio this year. Just a pest to play against.
Well, he's always going to be around. He's always going to be there. It's hard to lose him.
And Jerome James with his first field goal. James is now on Duncan. Good defense from Rittenauer. Knocks it away. Still San Antonio ball with 11 on the shot clock.
Well, when Bruce Bowen has radar lock on you, it is hard to lose him. Quick, long arms, wiry, strong. He's just going to be around you. He got lucky there. He didn't draw a foul. But a nice pitch over to Jerome James.
Well, what you said, Tommy, was so true. Even after if he gets beat or gets caught on the screen, he never gives up on a play.
No, he's always tailing you, always trailing you. A good sign for the San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker getting one from the outside, but give Seattle credit. They have limited the penetration of San Antonio guards.
Collison and a blocking foul on Brent Barry, who is in the restricted area. Pretty pass from Ray Allen as Barry picks up his second personal, and the rookie Collison will go to the line. A reminder on ESPN tomorrow night, the NBA playoffs continue. Game 6 of that just amazing series between the Suns and the Mavericks. What's Steve Nash going to do in the next game?
I don't know. He shouldn't have been MVP.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Nash with that triple-double. Suns lead at 3-2 as they're back at Dallas. And Collison knocks it down. Duncan and Bowen getting their first rest of the game.
I think some of the people that were saying, how in the world did he win MVP? If they're watching that series, they're saying, oh, that's how. He's been amazing. The numbers he's put up, not only has he scored this series, but the assist numbers are still phenomenally high. And I know we kind of expected that with them playing Dallas, but I think he's shown why he was MVP this year.
Damian Wilkins got a hand on it. Evans quick control, and Ginobili does not let it go out of bounds. He pushes it the other way. Parker left open and hesitant. Nazr Mohammed, what a huge pickup he's become. And even though Rasho Nesterovic is healthy again to play, Mohammed's played so well that he's staying in the lineup. And right on cue, he knocks Daniels to the ground.
Oh, a little bump there. Reggie Evans going out. Danny Fortson coming in. I don't know if you noticed it. I was watching. Danny Fortson actually picked up 2 fouls before he checked in.
Fortson comes in. They're in the penalty, so Antonio Daniels will go to the line. And so far, here in the first quarter, Spurs yet to get to the free throw line.
You see Mohammed just a little overzealous and stepping out. You want to make him go a different direction. The ground is not the direction you necessarily want him to go in. but you step out, you want to close that driving lane off, but you get a little too aggressive and you start moving into the player. And Antonio Daniels draws the foul.
And they continue to shoot well from the line. Daniels has just been superb from the line in this series. He's only missed 3 free throws. He's 32 for 35. And the Sonics backed up by 5. Parker. There's Devin Brown, who's checked in for the first time. Brown's been bothered by a back throughout these playoffs. Ball knocked away. Brown gets it back. 2 on the shot clock. He has to put it up in the 20. The rebound before the shot clock. And they got a little carried away that time. A little impatient. Sonics a rare mistake because they've been impressive here in the first.
Darth Vader going to see the movie of Pulled by a 9-year-old loser.
Oh, no, you can't say that.
Oh, no, you can't say it. I can't.
Duncan can't go on Forts in the rebound. I think if you come to the Sonics Spurs game dressed as Darth Vader, that's worse.
Can we agree on either or?
Allen now with Devin Brown on him. Allen named All-NBA second team just yesterday. Beautiful shot.
Notice how a little bump off with the right arm. So you don't want to extend the right arm, but it's all about creating space. He's a veteran. He knows just that little bump will give him enough room to get off that shot.
Allen was All-NBA third team 1 year with Milwaukee, but this first time named second team. Ginobili inside. What's amazing when he gets hit and falls down there is how he still gets off a quality shot.
No, he usually gets it up at the rim, and you saw the way he started left. He did a nice job in his Carlson, cutting off the left, but then he just went behind his back. I mean, he just manages to keep moving forward and gets shots up at the rim.
And he's been getting to the line. He's averaging 10 free throws a game in the postseason. Went to the line 17 times in the Game 5 victory in San Antonio. And Greg Popovich talked to him earlier today. And Popovich said he just plays so ferocious every minute. That's why he has to take him out sometime. He can't play a whole quarter. And it's not because he's physically banged up. Stamina-wise, he plays so hard, he has to get a rest every once in a while.
Well, you see the way he plays, defensively, offensively. Those are the type of shots that, Seattle wants to stay away from.
Nick Collison, meanwhile, with that loose ball foul.
You don't get much penetration. You pass it back out. And as great a shooter as Ray Allen is, you have a guy right in your face. Those are tough shots.
Dano Udrich comes in. Meanwhile, let's go over to Mark Jones.
Oh, this really turning into an issue of attrition for Seattle guys. Reggie Evans right now on a stationary bike, trying to stay loose. He injured his back. He has a heating pack on it right now. He injured his back in Game 3 while taking a charge on Tim Duncan. I spoke to him a few moments ago. Evans says he's fine to go back into the game. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mark. Nice entry pass to Ori. And Collison quickly picks up another foul. And that's going to be his third.
Well, you mentioned the little things that Robert Horry does, and in that instance, all he did was get underneath the rim and make himself big. Get Nick Collison on his back, give him a big target underneath, and receive the ball. You're either going to score a point-blank layup or give yourself a shot at 2 free throws.
So Collison, 3 quick fouls. Horry, who Greg Popovich says has such a high basketball IQ. Of course, has won 5 championships. And he's always in the playoffs. Only active player with 5 rings. Of course, big-time three-point shooter. And you know what? Interesting thing about him, Tommy, is that his career high that he's averaged in a season is only 12 a game. And in 13 years, he's only averaged double figures 3 times. So it's not like he's a huge scorer. So he does so many other things that go unnoticed because of his playoff heroics.
Well, he's in an advanced stage now, but when he was younger, he was a tremendous defensive player. He's very long, a shot blocker. He can harass players on the outside.
Advanced stage. He's 34.
No, but a basketball player. He's a basketball player. He's in an advanced. He's not in his prime, okay?
Well, the old man just committed a foul as he knocked into Antonio Daniels.
It's not like he's not Barry Bonds. He's not going to take Flaxseed and be great at 39. It's just not going to happen, okay?
I'm sorry I brought it up.
He's played 13 straight playoffs. How have you not watched 13 straight playoffs? It's been fantastic.
Meanwhile, Daniels, what a terrific start for Antonio Daniels. Once again, playing so well against his former team.
You know, I think, and I know it hurts losing Rashard Lewis. Certainly they're a better team with him. I almost think that they were, I don't want to say better off losing Rashard Lewis, but I think what I'm trying to say is Antonio Daniels is the second most important player on this team in the playoffs because he's a veteran, he's been through this before, and he's been very consistent throughout these playoffs.
You know, Greg Popovich said something similar to that earlier today. Is Duncan going against Fortson? And there's the foul on Fortson, his first. The crowd doesn't like it, but he's shuffling in. There's no question that he's bumping him.
Well, you watch him. I mean, he just puts his body into him. And then he, as you say, Mike, he doesn't stand still. If you stand still, it's okay. Watch right there. That's the one right there that's going to get you the foul. Whether you have your hands up or not, I mean, you're sticking your chest into him.
So Duncan will go to the line. Duncan scoreless so far, 0 for 4 from the field. We're saying about what Greg Popovich said is exactly what you said. Yes, they lose Lewis and lose some very key strengths from him, but other players' strengths come to the forefront. And one of those that he mentioned was Antonio Daniels.
Well, generally speaking, when Coach Popovich and I think alike, he's wrong more often than I'm right.
He won't be happy to know you agree with him.
He certainly won't. But not only is Antonio Daniels doing a lot offensively, he's very good on the perimeter defensively as well. I mean, he does both things for him.
Tough shot won't go. See, Glenn Robinson has come into the game and thinking of that rebound. Dano Woodruff, the other rookie. Final minute, first quarter. Ginobili trying to create some space. There's the mismatch. And Glenn Robinson does not get it to go down. Reggie Evans with the save. Nice touch by Ori.
A missed opportunity there by San Antonio. Glenn Robinson on the left block with Luke Ridnour guarding him. You like those odds and you take that one every single time. That's when generally he's going to finish.
Spurs shooting 39% from the field. Sonics 47%. That's one of the things that Nate McMillan, even though they lost game 5, they still shot 46% and were within 5 in the fourth quarter. Shot clock down to 5.
Nice.
Evans. Beautiful setup from Antonio Daniels.
That's how their big guys have been getting buckets. On the offensive glass and making themselves available on the pick and roll.
Shot clock turned off. Ginobili lost it. And there's the end of the first quarter. Antonio Daniels, the leading scorer, with 9 points in the opening period.
Hopefully that'll give us some energy.
Sounds like a lot of motivation. Thanks for joining us, Sue, and good luck. Guys, back to you.
All right, Mark. Sue Bird, of course, the USA women's team won a gold medal in Athens this summer. There's Damian Wilkins. Damian Wilkins continues to add to his unlikely story. Hardly played during the regular season. And when he's gotten called upon here in the playoffs, he's produced beautifully. The undrafted rookie out of Georgia.
The lineup they have, Danny Fortson's playing the 5. And they just got 4 swingmen and a point guard out there, and Luke Ridnour. So we'll see how San Antonio matches up against them.
Ginobili obviously okay after taking that shot to the thigh. And Bruce Bowen, and that's the area of the game he's really worked on. A little one-dribble pull-up. He's always been a stationary shooter. Doesn't score much. Allen. Oh, pretty move from Ray Allen. He's got 10 points.
He is a great finisher with the left hand. And he can hang in the air, and he can put different trajectory on the ball, flip it up off the glass. When he gets to that left hand, he is solid.
And he's showing people around the country he's so much more than just a pure jump shooter. Got that great fluid stroke, but so much more in his game. Duncan. Excellent defense that time from Fortson.
They got numbers.
Unfortunately, one of the other numbers is Tim Duncan.
But nice job pushing it. Just see what you have.
Fortson puts it in. Fortson charged up as the lead now 9, the largest lead here in the first half for Seattle.
Well, San Antonio can't keep Seattle in front of them. They're having a tough time
Unfortunately, that's going to be his second. Fortune of Bruce Bowen getting tangled up. First team foul against the Sonics.
But I think against this lineup, you got to try to get Tim Duncan the ball on the block and let him work against Danny Fortson, make them double team, and see if you can get some other guys off.
Ginobili trying to draw the foul. Fortson on him. How did he find Ulrich? Bang Ulrich from three.
Through two Sonics, through Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, he ran into Tim Duncan. Tim looked at him like, what are you doing? Went 13.
Daniels gets inside again. Bowen and Allen reintroduce himself. Again, once again, ball knocked out of bounds. Allen lost it last. Good defense from Bruce Bowen. And the Sonics turn it over for the fifth time. You see San Antonio with just the 2 turnovers. Fortson did a solid job as James comes back in for him. Racked up a couple more fouls.
2 things I noticed in the first quarter, Mike. The 10 free throws that Seattle had were impressive, but 8 field goals, only 2 assists. I mean, are they going to be able to keep doing that throughout the course of the game? Just relying on one-on-one moves, although they've done a great job getting to the bucket. Can that hold?
Well, offensive foul call on Brent Barry, and that's 3 on Barry. Antonio Daniels with some excellent defense. Monitor on ABC Sunday at 3:30. We either have Game 7 in Dallas at Phoenix, or Game 7 Seattle or San Antonio, or Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. There'll be some good Western Conference playoff action. 3:30 Eastern on Sunday on ABC, and then TNT Monday at 8 Eastern, the Eastern Conference Finals. Now that Detroit has wrapped things up, Jerome James with his second field goal. How about this? The Sonics are shooting 60% from the field.
I mean, he's the guy shooting the outside jumpers. Go figure that. The rest of the guys that get to the rim, the 2 field goals he's had have been 15-foot jump shots.
Duncan triple team gets fouled. Let's see if they call it the active shooter. The foul is against Antonio Daniels. That's his first. Duncan still with the early struggle. But that happened also in Game 4. Seattle shot 50% from the field for the game in Game 4. So the Spurs at times have had some problems defending Seattle in this series.
Well, when they put the 4 smalls out there with 1 big, I mean, essentially right now, Jerome James is your center, and then, go ahead and pick a power forward if you want to. No one's really a power forward. So you got 4 guys in the court that can penetrate. And right now, San Antonio just isn't doing a good enough job keeping guys in front of them on the initial penetration.
Duncan, meanwhile, yesterday named All-NBA first team for the 8th straight season. He is, it's still early, although he's starting to show some consistency. I think you're going to be able to say that he's one of the all-time great players.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question. The only thing he's missing is maybe another 5 or 6 years longevity.
Foul call. It's going to be Tim Duncan's second personal. And Jerome James will shoot 2.
It seems like Seattle has a rhythm offensively right now. And even though San Antonio is only down 6, they haven't really found a rhythm. I'm watching San Antonio offensively, and I don't know what they're trying to attack, who they're going to, what kind of pattern they're trying to follow. They just have not really found anything offensively that they've been able to go to consistently, and that works.
And I think you've got to give Seattle's defense a lot of credit. I mean, Seattle gets a lot of notice for Ray Allen shooting and their 3-point shooting, but a team that's coached by Nate McMillan, who is such a terrific defender, he has really made that a part of this team's success. Do they give up more points than some other top defensive teams? Yes, but it's more because of tempo. He really has changed their defensive mindset.
That's when they're at their best, because when they're playing good defense and forcing turnovers, that allows them to get out in the open court. Because they would like to run and like to shoot threes in the open court and like to get you before you set up your defense.
Muhammad just holding the ball as Duncan double team.
Well, this play just looks.
Duncan with the fake and gets fouled. So for about 20 seconds of the shot clock, it looked like a disaster. So let's give it to one of the world's greatest players, and he'll do something with it.
It's amazing the way they do stuff like that, isn't it? I mean, this is not how you draw it up on the chalkboard, putting two bigs right next to each other. But a pump fake gets Jerome James up off his feet, and I think that's one you don't necessarily jump at. So you just go ahead and let him shoot that one if he's going to shoot it.
But that's only James's first foul. You see Duncan, who at times, of course, well documented struggling with the free throws. That's not a problem so far tonight, as he's perfect from the line. Nearly 4 minutes gone by here in the second. Sonics leading by 6 with Tom Tolbert and Mark Jones. Mike Green on hand for Game 6 of this Western Conference semifinal. The home team has won every game in this series. It's the only playoff series this year in which there hasn't been a road victory. Spurs want to change that, obviously, tonight.
Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm just watching this game, doesn't it seem like Seattle's up 12 or 13? And they only have 5 points, but doesn't it seem like they're dominating a lot more than 5?
If you're not checking the scoreboard, you think Seattle's in complete control. Allen can't hit that one. Reggie Evans with another rebound.
I mean, San Antonio will do that to you. And you feel like you're playing well, and you're shooting a high percentage, and it doesn't feel like they have much rhythm, and all of a sudden you're up 5 points. They get 4 or 5 minutes of defensive pressure, and they end up winning by 6 or 7.
Allen, tough shot over Tim Duncan. And Ray Allen now with 12.
Well, he kept waiting for someone to come. You know, he had Tony Parker on his back, and he was waiting for a full-on double team. When he didn't get that double team, that's when he turned over the right shoulder and had a good look at the bucket.
Parker and a foul call. And the Sonics have to be a little careful about their reaction. They're very demonstrative reactions to some of these calls.
You can see right here, I mean, he's waiting for Bruce Bowen to come. He's just waiting, okay, you're not going to come. And he does a smart thing. Turn away from Bruce Bowen, turn away from the double team. He knows he can rise up over Tony Parker.
So Parker will go to the line. Damian Wilkins called for that last foul, his first. Parker just 2 points here in the early going. The thing about Parker, and he just celebrated a birthday. He was just 23 the other day. You forget how young he is. He's had so much success early. He was a 19-year-old starting point guard. And he's had some ups and downs in the playoffs, but he's coming off his best year in the regular season, averaged 16.5 a game, shot 47% from the field, a terrific number. And he has a couple of bad games here and there in the playoffs, but he still is a young point guard.
And getting better and better. I mean, you look at their starting backcourt, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, a late first-round pick and a second-round pick. And no one would have thought this would be one of the best backcourts in the league. And it certainly has turned out to be not only a very good backcourt, but a very explosive backcourt.
And they're both signed for a long time. Wilkins. Damian Wilkins, the son of Joe, the nephew of Dominique, continues to be a playoff performer for the Sonics.
Well, let's see if they can get Tony Parker off, get him a little penetration, get him getting into the paint. Doing a nice job stepping out on the pick and roll.
Good entry pass, and Nazi Muhammad knocks it down. Ridnour. Ray Allen wide open, nobody near him. And Bowen the rebound.
Doesn't seem like that's the hardest shot to hit. The wide open jump shot. Nobody ever expects that.
They're trying to get it to Muhammad inside, and he's able to finish. Nazi Muhammad, who had 19 points in Game 5, immediately turns around and points to...
I'm joined by Rashard Lewis. Rashard, how disappointing is it for you in the first year that you make the All-Star team, you're unable to play at a critical time here in the playoffs?
It's very frustrating, and I'm trying so much to get out on the court. I'm trying to force myself to play, but I can't. I feel like I'm letting my teammates down, but at the same time, hope these guys can pull it out, and I can just try to get myself ready for Sunday.
What are your chances of being able to go in a Game 7 if it gets that far?
Hopefully we can go to Game 7. I mean, I tried my best to play tonight. I tried my best to play last game. If we can go to Game 7, then I may have to just force myself to get out there. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain. I can't run, I can't jump. I'm limited to a lot of things, but at the same time, if we can get to Game 7, then I'm going to try something else. I'm going to have to try my best.
You hear whispers in the community about people saying maybe you should be playing because it's quote-unquote just a toe injury, but do you feel justified by the fact that, hey, that MRI you had shows some damage?
Yeah, I mean, it is just a toe injury, but at the same time, you use your feet to play basketball. You got to run, you got to jump, you got to cut. And I could barely walk on it the next couple of days after I injured it. So if I can't walk, how am I going to run and jump?
All right, Rashard, get healthy and get back soon. Thanks for doing this. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. And anybody who's ever had a serious toe injury, you can't run. It is painful. Meanwhile, Jerome James swats that one away, but it's a goaltend. How about that move Ray Allen made down the other end?
Got an assist and a bucket. Threw it up to himself, went up there and scored. Hey, think about it. Basketball, what do? You run, you jump, you cut, you change directions. And I'm not going to sit here. Nice pass by Manu Ginobili.
And Ginobili, the whole way up the floor, the ball never went on the floor. Nobody dribbled it. Just a beautiful fast break by San Antonio, and it's a one-point game.
For those people that aren't in the locker room, aren't with the team, to question someone's pain threshold, I think is absolutely ludicrous.
Jerome James, and only the rebound. Lewis had certainly his best season, made the All-Star team, average over 20 a game. Robert Horry for three. And Muhammad knocks it out of bounds. Reminder for official 2005 playoffs merchandise, log on to NBAstore.com. You can get great Spurs and Sonics playoff gear. Suit up now for the playoffs at NBAstore.com. You know, Tommy, with Lewis out the last two games, Radmanovic out, who was their third leading scorer, it's really amazing what Seattle's been able to continue to hang tough, play well without two of their top three scorers.
Well, I think when you look at what this team was supposed to be this whole year, they weren't supposed to be where they are. And I think they just carried that momentum, not only through the regular season. I think Jerome James picked up a foul over the back. I really think this team just has the momentum of the whole season. There's Vladimir Radmanovic right there. Rashard Lewis right there. And they miss those guys because those guys help them space the court. Those are guys that can shoot the three. Those are guys that can dribble, drive, penetration. And that's kind of what this team, this is a draw and pitch team. Draw, create mismatches, pitch out. They miss those two guys. But I think they've really carried the momentum of the whole season over into the playoffs and done very well. And like I said, a nice building block for next year if they can keep the guys intact.
That foul on Jerome James, they're in the penalty, so Bowen will shoot. There you see the kind of year that it's been for Seattle. Nate McMillan, we spoke to him this morning, and he's very proud of his team as Bowen ties up the game. Vitaly Potapika will come in as James has picked up his second. But he doesn't want to use the word overachieve. He says, hey, I knew we were a good team. We just had to have some of the younger players improve and develop. And the veterans continue to play hard, and he knew they could be good. So he doesn't want to use the word overachieve when describing his team. Bowen, meanwhile, gives San Antonio their first lead of the night.
Someone should tell, Coach McMillan that it's okay to use the word overachieve. That might get him an extra $1 million or $2 next year in the contract. It's good for coaches when the team overachieves because that reflects positively on you.
Players not the only ones who are free agents after this year.
Exactly.
Daniels doesn't hit. Potapika battling, and Potapika keeps that alive. Oh, nice feed to Wilkins.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to count.
No, the ball. Offensive interference. Wilkins grabbed the rim while the ball was above the cylinder after he missed a dunk. That's an excellent call from Danny Crawford. It's actually an easy call for the officials. If he dunked it through, obviously you can hang the rim, but as soon as it came out above the cylinder, you can't touch the rim. Some pesky defensive move. You rarely see Bowen make a move like that.
That was like a negative. I mean, usually you see on the other end, it's Bruce Bowen hounding Ray Allen. You don't see down here Ray Allen hounding Bruce Bowen and backing him, but slowly but surely, San Antonio's kind of got a grip on this game.
Meanwhile, that last foul, Parker, so Wilkins will go to the line. Wilkins, we mentioned, when undrafted, he remembers draft night. He was at Madison Square Garden during the draft. Thought he was going to get drafted. The 2 rounds went by, didn't happen. And what he remembers from that night, walking out of the Garden into the night in New York City, his mom was crying. He had to try to console his mom. And Wilkins said, I even lost a little confidence in myself. Maybe the NBA wasn't for me. But he also said he wanted to prove everyone wrong. And he has come back. Almost didn't make this team back in October, but injuries got him one of the roster spots. And he has slowly impressed the coaching staff into giving him big-time playoff minutes.
Let's see if they can get it. If they get it to Duncan. Yeah. I mean, he's like the human foul.
Potapico just draped his arm around the waist of Duncan. And Duncan will go to the line.
He is not worried about picking up 6 fouls because he's not going to be around long enough to pick up 6 fouls. Although the way he plays Tim Duncan, if he were around 4 minutes, he'd pick up 6 fouls in 4 minutes. I mean, literally, he just beats him up down on the low block.
The Spurs have hit 13 straight free throws. They missed their first one, but now on a nice roll. And Duncan has been perfect from the line tonight. Of course, Duncan several years ago shot 80% from the line. And then he's had a couple of rough seasons.
You got to think if you're Greg Popovich, you're thinking, oh, it's working out okay. We're up 3 points. Tim Duncan doesn't have 1 field goal in the first half.
Parker just has 1.
Robert Horry's been very good for them.
But they've turned it around shooting here in the second quarter. Both teams over 50%. And a 4-point lead for San Antonio. It's been a 13-point turnaround as the Sonics at 1 point led by 9.
Looks like it's a little zone at him here. No, maybe not.
Ridnour. Well, that was a nice pass from Potapico.
It was interesting. Bowen out front guarding the point. Luke Ridnour.
Ginobili for 3. Parker on the foul and a foul. Tony Parker so far with 6. Or he keeps it alive, but Ridnour comes away.
You know, I knew when I said they were about to go more, he'd miss. Just a given.
And why did you say it?
I don't know. Couldn't stop myself. That's what you're here for.
Daniels comes out. Shot clock down to 8. Daniels with a hand in his face, puts it in.
He needs to get back on track. He had 9 points in the first quarter. He had to score here in the second quarter. Those were his first 2.
He's playing with so much confidence.
Well, I think he knows he has to step up now. Rashard Lewis, Vladimir Romanovich, not able to play. Luke Ridnour, still a young guy, but he has to step up and get things done.
That's the 4th turnover for San Antonio. Potapico with good post defense. Ginobili just threw it away. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Allen, again, a quick pull-up.
Fun watching him. Fun watching scores in this league. How they create space, how they get separation, how they get themselves open. And Ray Allen, a lot of subtle things.
And Robert Horry lost it. Back-to-back turnovers for San Antonio.
But you watch Ray Allen, it's a little, shoulder into the air, a little push, just a little bit. He finds ways that shooters need space, and he finds ways to get himself space and get shots up.
You guys are talking about Reggie Miller. Not the same basketball smarts as Ridnour can't get it to go. Evans on the foul, blocked by Horry. Robert Horry, another good defensive play. Parker.
Ooh, that was nice. Looked like a travel, it wasn't.
He may have taken an extra step.
No, I think he just kind of slowed his gait down a little bit and made that step. And sometimes when you slow yourself down, it looks like traveling.
Bowen picks up his 2nd foul.
I talked about sometimes you just got to throw those out. Just because you get an offensive rebound doesn't mean you should be trying to finish. Let's see if he travels. Picks the ball up. 1, 2. No, that's not a travel. Yeah, I don't know if you buying it?
No, I thought that was a travel.
Yeah. Even in slow motion.
Yes.
I thought it wasn't a travel even in slow motion.
Evans, left-handed, can't get a Potapico. The foul. So Potapico helping out off the bench. Final minute, first half.
Robert Horry, he can be open for a 3.
Instead, Bowen, that's his favorite spot. And Bowen knocks down the 3.
Well, because Potapico was on Horry, they threw it out to Horry, and Allen had to run off Bowen to get Horry, and then it ended up being a wide open jump shot from the corner.
Ridnour. Oh, beautiful play from Ridnour. Avoiding several Spurs along the way. he's going to become fun to watch as he gets more experience. Parker for three. Parker continues to struggle from downtown. Parker shooting just 18% from three-point range in the playoffs. And Nate McMillan will use his 22nd timeout. Smart play to set it up. You can't carry a 22nd timeout over. And now getting the chance to play for the Sonics. Nate McMillan said to start the year, he is the point guard for the future. He's going to be my starter. And he started every game, the only Sonic to start every single game this season. He's learning from a pretty good source in Nate McMillan. They do not have a foul to give. Allen throws it away. Bowen played him beautifully. And there's 2 seconds remaining for San Antonio.
Let's see, we'll try to get Tim Duncan back in the game.
So Duncan quickly comes in. Barry will sit. Calling out the play right now. Let's go to halftime show coming up next. With Reggie Miller's last game, the gang will have more about one of the all-time clutch shooters in NBA history playing in his final game. Parker at the buzzer. And that will end the first half. And one of the things they did efficiently in the first half, Tommy, was just 5 turnovers. In game 4, where Greg Popovich was very upset, said they played uninspired basketball, they had 23 turnovers. So that was one of the real keys they discussed, is taking care of the basketball on the road.
I'll see if Seattle can get somebody else going.
Oh, right there.
That would really help them to get the third guy going. Antonio Daniels and Ray Allen had very good first halves. Wow. Now with a crossover? You used to see that a lot in New York, didn't you?
Muhammad, of course, who began the season in New York with the Knicks as James picks up his third. Showing a
Check this
flash.
out. Woo, gotcha. Got a foul on Jerome James.
That was not an easy trade for Muhammad from this standpoint. He was traded from one of the all-time Spurs favorite players in terms of the fans, Malik Rose.
Yeah.
For a couple of days after the trade, fans are calling in talk shows in San Antonio crying. They were that upset. Rose was such a pillar in the community, a popular energy hustle player, that it wasn't easy. But Muhammad is a very high character guy that fit in right away with Greg Popovich. He's a hard worker. And the backup center originally was perfect. Now he's starting because Nesterovic is hurt. And Muhammad's played so well now that Nesterovic is healthy. And a foul on Reggie Evans. And a little bit of a bump after the whistle as well, as that's their second team foul to start already here in the third. 2 on Evans.
And Reggie Evans stepping out on him, gets the hands on the hips. You know, I've noticed that as a trend in the league now for some reason. Even after the play, if you just try to shoot it or go for a layup, guys feel like they need to block shots or foul you again.
As Ginobili pushes off for an offensive foul. Let's send it over to Mark Jones.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with Nate McMillan just a few moments ago. Asked him about his team at both ends of the floor. He said defensively, we've got to be better in transition, especially at the 1, 2, and 3. They have to get back. Meanwhile, offensively, he said we've had too much one-on-one penetration, Mark. And guys, the assists bear that out. They only had 5 of them, Mike, on 18 field goals in the first half. Back to you.
Whereas San Antonio had 13 assists on 17 field goals. Daniels tied up, shot clock winding down, just gets it off, and he puts it in. Keeping calm, Antonio Daniels.
Well, that's when you do everything right as a defense. You double, you force a tough shot, close out all the passing lanes, and you just happen to hit it.
Ginobili lost it out of bounds. He tried to draw a foul. Instead, it's a turnover.
Well, this is great defense. Tim Duncan steps out. Bruce Bowen steps over. No Ray Allen's open. Just throw it up, and as a defense, you can't live with that all night long.
Well, this crowd has been so fun. Games 3 and 4 here tonight. They are wild. James on the pull-up. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Reggie Evans' head. They've been perfect at home, winning first in the first round, 3 games against Sacramento, and the 2 games here against San Antonio. Nice feed to Muhammad, and Nazir Muhammad once again in double figures.
Well, their interior defensive rotations last game in the third quarter were atrocious. They've done a much better job of that in this game. But that time, the offense or defense on the weak side late coming over.
And a technical foul on Antonio Daniels. He thought he was fouled, and he got quickly hit, saying a couple of magic words to Danny Crawford.
And see Antonio Daniels going down the middle. It looked like he got mostly ball on that one. That's a tough one to see.
You're in an elimination game. You have to maintain your composure. Four-point lead. Muhammad again. Shot clock.
This is a little bit of a mismatch right here.
Former teammates, and Daniels plays them well. Still 3 left on the 24.
Well, I think it wasn't so much Tim Duncan, it was the opposition, or his teammates, rather, not spacing out enough. I mean, not getting away from Tim Duncan enough so he can utilize the mismatch and exploit it.
Duncan with 3 to shoot. Just gets it off. And Muhammad keeps it alive and comes away with the ball. Excellent hustle from Nazir Muhammad. The fans wanting a foul. Parker, a little hesitation move. Lost it. Ginobili with the steal.
Just careless. I mean, you have to take care of the ball. You can't just throw it out there in the middle of the court and hope your guy gets to it.
Duncan. Still can't get it to fall. And James comes away. Duncan 0 for 7 from the field. And San Antonio still leading by 4. Who would have thought that Duncan at this point in the game wouldn't have a field goal?
And certainly, if he didn't have a field goal, I would have thought Seattle would be up.
Ray Allen. Boy, you can't defend better than what Bruce Bowen just did then. Reggie Evans, way short.
I'm pretty sure that's not what they were looking for.
That's why Bowen, first team All-NBA defense. Duncan gets in. Duncan still without the field goal.
You can tell a little bit in his head. He knows he has a converted one because he had a wide open 15-footer that he will usually let go.
Daniels. Oh, beautiful play from Daniels. Antonio Daniels with 15 points to lead all scorers. Daniels, one of many free agents on this team that may not be back here in Seattle, as Ray Allen is called for a foul. Oh, excuse me, it's on Rittenauer. That's going to be his first. Allen very animated, yelling at Greg Willard.
Certainly not the time to be focusing on the officials. Task at hand is to try to get this thing going in your favor.
Duncan still without it, but Muhammad right there for the tip, and Nazir Muhammad having his second straight strong game with 12 points and 6 rebounds. Allen, Evans with the rebound. Blocked by Muhammad. Jerome James. Evans again. Blocked by Duncan. Oh, terrific defense. And a technical foul on Nate McMillan, who's going wild on the bench. And the crowd obviously very upset. Seattle losing their cool right now. Now McMillan's got to be careful. Tommy is Ginobili will shoot the technical foul. There's a lot of contact, but they're letting him play at both ends of the floor. This looked like it was a good block.
Well, that wasn't a foul right there. And I think that wasn't a foul. I'm not sure what everybody's getting exercised on. I did not see one foul in that sequence.
No.
I didn't see one foul in that sequence at all. And I said it earlier. Just because you get an offensive rebound doesn't mean you have to shoot the ball. Sometimes it's more prudent to pitch it back out to your scorers.
Especially when you're undersized with a shot blocker like Tim Duncan. All three of those shots look like they were good blocks. Parker short. Muhammad another offensive rebound. 5 minutes gone by here in the third. Ginobili for three.
That was a nice pass. And even though he doesn't score and he doesn't have a field goal, he gets other people's shots they would normally get without him.
And that's Tim Duncan's fourth assist of the game. And the crowd upset as the Spurs have their largest lead of the game.
Well, what happens? Antonio Daniels has to come down to respect Tim Duncan's postgame and leaves Manu Ginobili wide open for a three-point shot from the stripe.
Just embraced the team. He embraced individuals. Took guys off to the side, but he doesn't do it publicly. He does it behind the scenes. Knows when to criticize, knows when to encourage. Now's an important time to be a leader for this team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it seems like the threads are coming apart here. And with Seattle down 8 points now, I mean, he's got to be the guy to step up and say, look, guys, just calm down. Calm you down. Or get you fired up.
Jerome James with authority.
But this is an important 3-4 minute stretch for Seattle right here.
Parker took his eye off it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you see, we've got three veteran officials in Danny Crawford, Joe Forte, and Greg Willard, if they start to call it a little tighter, because it's starting to get obvious, a little heated, a little extra pushes and shoves. They've tried to let him play, but there's been a lot of complaining.
Yeah, there's a fine line, too, between being physical and getting out of control.
Collison on the follow, and a foul, I believe, on Daniel's shot. It's so hard to hear the whistle. So Barry's picked up his fourth foul, and Antonio Daniels will go to the line. Collison's shot didn't matter. Barry trying to look up and see a replay on it. So Daniels having another strong game, 15 points to lead the Sonics in scoring. Coming up on Sunday, we'll have third foul. Duncan misses his first free throw. He was 8 for 8.
Got to be able to collect those, and this could be a 5-point possession.
Horry misses badly, but Duncan right there. And a foul on Collison. So 2 more free throws coming up for Duncan. 4 fouls on Collison. 4:48 remaining here in the third. San Antonio by 6.
How many fouls do you think are called? And these are tough fouls, so I'm not calling anybody out here. Where you get the ball underneath, maybe there's a little contact, but the guy just kind of throws his arms up in the air and works himself to the free throw line. I mean, good players do that because it's a way to get to the free throw line.
I think we're seeing more of that. The flopping, the over dramatizing how hard you're hit. I think we've seen more of that this year than any year I can remember.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it offensively.
Yep.
You know, defensively, we've had some floppers.
Yes, offensively. And I'm not saying Duncan did it on that, but I agree with you. We're seeing a lot of it. And that's what makes it so hard for the officials to gauge. We were talking to P.J. Carlissimo before this game, and he said this has been such a hard series to officiate.
They're going to start giving out red cards like they do in soccer for flopping.
Daniels finding James, and a foul. Beautiful pass from Antonio Daniels. And Jerome James with a chance for a 3-point play.
We haven't seen a lot of this tonight. A lot of it's been one-on-one. Nice pick right there. Duncan comes over to help, and once again, that weak side defensive rotation, a little leg getting over.
So James, who had that great series against Sacramento, came out of nowhere. Has not certainly played as well against San Antonio's, but he's got 10 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of blocks here tonight.
A nice job of stepping out.
Duncan. And Rittenauer the rebound. Duncan now 1 for 12 from the field.
Oh, good job by James staying down. Make him take that shot.
Rittenauer puts it in. Not only saying out of former coaches, but teaching rookies about rules.
When you hang on the rim and the ball is up there, that's offensive basket interference. You got to let it go, okay?
And also making sure the players act the right way.
Technical foul right there.
And officials do talking during timeouts, not just coaches, about what's going on the court.
They can look 16 times, fella. There was not a foul on any of that. Right? No. Absolutely right. I said, here's the thing.
That's a good crew chief working his team out there.
It is not easy, and they get it right most of the time.
Robert Horry to Muhammad. And Muhammad traveled. For San Antonio, their 10th turnover.
Well, we mentioned what they've been able to do without Tim Duncan scoring, only having 1 field goal. In this quarter, Ray Allen has no field goal. It's been Luke Rittenauer pitching in, Antonio Daniels, Jerome James pitching in.
And by the way, Tommy, they changed the foul earlier that they had called on Rittenauer. We thought it was on Allen. Ray Allen has 4 fouls. And they took Rittenauer's away. On a moving screen, Jerome James just kept moving around. And that's his 4th foul. Allen playing with the 4 fouls. James is going to sit as Sportson comes in.
Returning for the Sonics, number 21,
Now, Allen with 4 fouls in a normal game, he probably wouldn't be on the floor right now. This is not a normal game.
Kind of waiting for him to go off a little bit.
Not that time. Now, as Sportson lost it. Seattle wanting a foul on Muhammad. All right, the NBA playoffs continue. Game 6 between the Suns and the Mavericks from Dallas. Phoenix leading 3-2 after that great performance from Steve Nash. The NBA playoffs on ESPN tomorrow at 9 Eastern.
say Ginobili, where are the pick and rolls? Where is he getting to the hoop? I haven't seen that yet, what you saw last game. That's the kind of stuff you used to see with him.
Oops. And he turns it over. That's their 6th turnover in the 3rd quarter. They only had 5 the entire first half.
Well, Seattle's done a nice job right there, jumping the pick and roll and then forcing a tough pass, but I just haven't seen him get to the rim like he did last game. I know he's trying to be as aggressive, but give Seattle credit.
Ginobili, 10 points, 4 assists. Allen for 3. And the game is tied. For 3. And Muhammad with another offensive rebound. Nazr Muhammad is 8th overall board. 5 on the offensive end. Parker stripped by Collison. Wilkins blocked. A foul though. Terrific block to stop the basket, but Wilkins will shoot 2.
This crowd is insane right now, but the great defense leading to offense and leading to a chance to take the lead.
Damian Wilkins with 2 shots. Ray Allen still talking with Danny Crawford. Sonics a very good free throw shooting team. Tonight, they're 16 for 20 from the line. Look at where he looks just like his dad.
Yeah. And he's another one of the energy guys that they bring in off the bench.
And it's still Seattle ball. Nope. Danny Crawford overrules it. And says last touch by the Sonics.
Well, let's see if San Antonio come back down and score right here. Sometimes you grind, you finally get a chance to tie the game, then you get a chance to take the lead. It doesn't happen. We'll see if San Antonio can capitalize on that, maybe get a bucket here, maybe even a 3.
Parker trying to get going. Shot clock at 7. Parker at 2. Wilkins the rebound.
All perimeter for San Antonio right now.
Ridnour long. Clarkson on the rebound. Puts it in. The foul.
Well, that's what Danny Fortson does. He hits the glass. I like the shot here in the open court before the defense sets up. Then you get matchups like that. Tony Parker trying to block out. Danny Fortson doesn't work.
An 11-0 run. Seattle back up by 3. Under 2 to play here in the 3rd.
We'll see San Antonio get some penetration.
Muhammad way off. Here comes Wilkins. With offensive foul. He pushed off. That was an easy call.
I mean, once that arm comes away from the body, that's an easy call, and that's exactly what happened.
This is great transition defense. First, watch Fortson. Fortson should have been called for a foul on Ginobili.
Boy, look, there's no when he leans over and knocks him down. Certainly, that's a foul. I thought they got away with one there. And then, instead of kind of slowing down the gate and maybe trying to get a layup, Damian Wilkins pushing off with the left hand. Tim Duncan back in the game.
Oh, nice move, Ginobili.
Give Seattle credit, though. They are shutting that down. They are not letting him get to the rim.
Collison with the steal. Collison. Oh, he misstepped. He took a funny step and lost his footing a bit.
And the knee buckled. He didn't know if he's going to just lay it up or dunk it.
The indecision cost him. Oh, nice pass. And Fortson a hard foul. Duncan goes down. And Duncan will shoot 2. Greg Popovich feels it should be a flagrant. We saw it from behind. It was a very hard foul. It's not going to be a flagrant, or is it? Yeah, flagrant foul. Let's take a look.
Well, let's see. Anytime you go up near the head, they're going to get you with the flagrant foul. Now, I don't mind trying to keep him from scoring and maybe getting your arm over there, knocking his arm down. When you start going up around the head, that's when you're going to get your flagrant fouls.
A key on the flagrant foul. Again, the definition is unnecessary contact. And Fortson tends to do that. And you watch a windup, and that's a key of it. The windup, the impact, and the follow-through. Fortson afterwards saying to Duncan, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure he really wanted to hear it, to be honest with you.
Fortson has a history of flagrant fouls.
But then if you're Tim Duncan, that's what's making him angry.
Good point. A minute remaining in what's been a wild third quarter. Duncan hits the side of the backboard. Duncan is 1 for 13. Allen for 3. Bang! Boy, this place has exploded. Udrich quiets the crowd momentarily.
I'm telling you something, you better find Ray Allen in a hurry. I think he's getting one of those grooves right now where it's just get it and pull.
There it goes again. Allison battling for the rebound, and Duncan comes away.
Ray's definitely feeling it. You can see that right now. He doesn't need a whole lot of space, and even in the open court, he's going to be looking to pull that trigger quickly.
There's about a 4.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ginobili spinning. And Ginobili will go to the line. Damian Wilkins raises his hand. And that's his third foul.
You see, look where Danny Fortson's looking, at his waist. Just looking at his waist and bodies him up, and that's what he's going to do. He's not going to block his shot. And then Ray Allen right there, as soon as that ball was coming to him, it didn't take any time at all to get it out of the holster.
Ginobili now with 11 points. A one-point game with 6.9 remaining. What a seesaw quarter. Spurs were up by as many as 8 earlier in the period. Then they trailed by 4. And last touch by Seattle. So the Spurs have 6.1 remaining to get off the shot. Here in the third.
Maybe looking for either an inbound pass directly to Tim Duncan and let him take Danny Fortson. They're going to double and see if somebody can get open for a 3.
Bowen. That's a 2-pointer. And that will end. As San Antonio shot just 30%. They turned it over 8 times in the period. However, the Spurs only down by 1 as we head to the fourth. And we want to remind you, coming up Saturday, the WNBA season tips off as the LA Sparks face the defending champion Seattle Storm Saturday at 4 Eastern on ABC. Udrich, Ginobili, Bowen, Muhammad, and Duncan out there on the floor. Duncan inside. Misses again. Tim Duncan now 1 for 14 from the field.
It'll be interesting to see what Seattle does with him when he gets the ball in scoring position.
Offensive foul on Fortson as he lowers the shoulder.
How could you even question that? I mean, Duncan may have been moving, but as soon as you lower that shoulder and run over somebody, you know what's going to happen. I mean, that's an easy call.
Again, you don't have to have your feet still to pick up a charge. Duncan. Stolen by Daniels.
That's a shot he would normally take. Right now, he's thinking about it.
Daniels inside. Allison. If he would have turned left, he would have had a layup. But that's what the Spurs defense does to you. You don't know where you are. teams have extended each other the whole night. Spurs do not want to have a game 7. Muhammad works in with a block, but Duncan gets the rebound and puts it in.
Well, they're jumping Ginobili. When they try to run that pick and roll, they're jumping Ginobili and rotating over toward Duncan. So if somebody in the weak side's open, it's just a matter of can they find him and can they be the ones that beat him and maybe get an easy bucket for Duncan there. Now we get him going.
Duncan has 16 points, but 12 of them from the free throw line. Now out of the hand. Not a good shot that time. Ginobili trying to save it, and he does. For 3. And Fortson with a big rebound. Oh, Fortson just leveled Ginobili. Blocked by Barry, but a foul on Wilkins. Danny Fortson just leveled Ginobili as the play went up the floor, and the officials didn't see it. It was off the ball, and Greg Popovich is hopping mad.
You know, you're going to see right here, Danny Fortson kind of runs, and, well, that's where he grabbed the face. Is where I think you have a problem with Coach Popovich. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, the bump's okay. Right. You don't mind being physical.
Because they're both going out.
Exactly. But when you reach up and you put your hand over someone's face.
But that's been his problem his whole career. And then he wonders why that he gets called for flagrants and technicals because he gets involved in that stuff. Well, he's fortunate nothing was called there.
Is there a coincidence that he had 17 fouls in 47 minutes coming into this game in this series?
And second in the NBA in technical fouls. As Damian Wilkins puts the Sonics back up by 1. Wilkins with 7 points off the bench. Barry trying to draw a foul. And a nice shot from Barry. That's his first field goal of the night.
Oh, much needed. He's certainly a guy that if he can get it going, I mean, he is a guy that can score. Confidence kind of wavered a little bit in this series, but if he can maybe hit a couple shots and get his confidence, he's definitely a guy who can hit from the perimeter.
Orderick with the jumper. And Jerome James pulls down his 6th rebound. 1 point San Antonio lead. Sonics' largest lead, 9. The Spurs' largest lead was 8. Collison inside, left hand, can't get it to fall, but he grabs the rebound. And a jump ball with Muhammad and Collison. Yeah, we'll have a timeout. They'll jump it up at the Sonics free throw line circle if they want to force a game 7.
Well, certainly you see right there, they struggle a little bit in the fourth quarters of games and get a chance to play the fourth quarter of game number 1. Because of the ankle sprain. But the thing is, Mike, he had 15 field goal attempts in the first half. He's only shot the ball 4 times here in the second half. Not only does he have to get going, his teammates got to figure out ways to get him the ball to help him get off.
Duncan with 7 on the shot clock. Wilkins looking to double team. Duncan fires away. He has been off all night. And a loose ball foul on Nazr Muhammad. That's his 3rd and the 2nd team foul against the Spurs.
So Wilkins had thought about coming there. And I think if Duncan would have taken 1 or 2 more dribbles, they would have come on the double team. And I'm just not so sure that's the right thing right now, especially when he has the ball 15, 16 feet away from the bucket. It is clearly just been not his night from the field so far.
But again, let's give credit. The Seattle defense has just been excellent tonight. Spurs shooting 41%. Collison breaks through. Nice feed inside for Duncan. And a blocking foul. Duncan holding on to his ankle or his foot. It's the left foot. And Duncan in some pain. And this is the sight that the Spurs fans have a very difficult time looking at. Duncan, of course, during the regular season, missed 16 games with a sprained right ankle.
And let me quickly say that everybody that's cheering right now, should be ashamed, and you're an idiot. I can't stand people that cheer injuries. And some big, what are you doing? People are booing. He's up and walking. And for crying out loud, these guys are out there busting their butt, playing basketball, entertaining you. You're coming to watch a game, and some guy gets hurt and goes down just because he's on the opposition, and you cheer.
Well, when he got up and started walking down the floor, there were a lot of people that got up and cheered to try and offset the people that they were probably embarrassed for what they were doing. So Duncan will shoot two, and well, that was a scary sight. He looked like he was really hurt. Reggie Evans will come back in.
You see him rolling in, and Carlson clearly in the restricted area, and he's just going to come down on the tip.
Yep.
Twist it up. He's been walking back and forth between free throws to half court and back, trying to. Hey, usually he's great from the field, not so great from the line. Tonight it's been just the opposite.
And he really needed it from the free throw line with how much he struggled from the field. And Spurs back up by one.
We'll see how much that not only affects his mobility in the offensive end, but the defensive end on the pick and rolls and maybe keeping guys off the glass.
Ray Allen for three. 23 points for Allen. Parker won't go.
Well, neither Parker nor Ginobili have had success getting it going tonight. Once again, get this.
Allen again. They rushed that one and Duncan the rebound.
Well, you know how he is when he gets going. He just catches and fires. But I'm just waiting, and I'm going to give Seattle a lot of credit tonight. They have done a fabulous job keeping Tony Parker and Ginobili from getting to the paint.
Parker the extra pass. Duncan is open. And Tim Duncan, who was 2 for 16, hits a big shot to tie the game. Well, Tom, I've seen over 100 NBA games live this year, and I've seen a game in every arena in the NBA. This is as loud as any building I've been in all season long.
I think the two buildings that have been the loudest this year for me are Arco and this place. And these guys have been nuts. I've been here 3 times.
Ray Allen again. He's got 25.
Nice job of weaving your way, finding your way into the paint. And if you're San Antonio right now, you better know where he is, because the last 6.5 minutes, he's going to be priority number 1 as far as Seattle's offense. Get him the ball and let him work.
Brent Barry for 3. The former Sonic with a big bucket.
He's hit a lot of those in this arena.
5 years with the Sonics, and left him sign the free agent deal with San Antonio this year. The largest lead here in this fourth quarter has been 2 as Bruce Bowen. Oh, it's called against Barry, and Barry is fouled out. And the Sonics will take it out of bounds. That's the 3rd team foul against the Spurs.
Hey, you're like, yeah, just hit a 3. I'm starting to feel pretty good. Oh, man. You can see right here, he's going to step over, and clearly that's a blocking foul. Brent trying to slide over and get Ray Allen's way.
Well, look who comes in for him, Robert Horry, who had such a terrific first half.
Ginobili back in the game.
Duncan getting a breather. Damian Wilkins with 3 on the shot clock. Wilkins has to put it up. And an air ball on the 24-second violation. And we'll have a timeout. Just past the midway point here in the fourth quarter. Ray Allen trying to keep the Sonics' hopes of a Game 7 alive.
Roy said he was going to have to get it done, and you see right here, everybody paying attention to Ray Allen, nobody paying attention to Nick Carlson, and then on the break, you better get up on him in a hurry, because he can light it up and let it go quickly. It's going to be a great finish here indeed.
Here in the fourth quarter alone, tonight would force the Game 7 Sunday in San Antonio. It has been a special year, an unexpected year. They won 15 more games than last season. Into the second round, they won a playoff series for the first time in 7 years. And they want it to continue here in Seattle.
Now, who's going to be their guy to go to right now?
Ginobili draws the foul.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting for.
Coming up after the game, Sports Center with John Anderson and Linda Cohen. Tonight's stories. Reggie Miller, his time runs out. Will Shaq give the Heat? What will we give him when he returns against Detroit? And a former coach to the rescue, all coming up on Sports Center. Now, Tom, I know maybe this is simplistic to say, but you look back in the first half. We talked about the Sonics having a problem with, actually it was in the third quarter, losing their poise. 2 technical fouls were called on them. Both free throws were made. They wind up losing this game by 1. I know it doesn't come down as simple as that, but that's something you can control, and you'd hate to have that haunt you as technical fouls making a difference in a win or a loss.
Well, I think we talk about experience in the playoffs, and it can manifest itself differently. Experience in the fourth quarter, who to get the ball to, experience defensively, knowing how to play in big games and who you're going to stop and how to concentrate on them over the course of the series, and composure. Composure, knowing that you're going to be in tight games, they're going to be physical games, and you're going to be playing hostile arenas. You have to keep your composure in these games because, like you said, Michael, 1, 2, 3 points, these games are often decided by that margin.
Ridnour. Oh, look, Ridnour with a tough shot, and the game is tied. 10 points for Ridnour. He struggled early in the series, but has not backed down and has played well.
Ray Allen's coming if he goes to the middle.
Duncan draws the foul and 1. Tim Duncan finally gets a shot to fall, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
It's not what Tim Duncan did. A lot of the great players will do this. Watch, he sees James's arms are down. All he has to do is get his arms underneath James' arms and go up. You're going to get yourself to the free throw line. Watch right here. Arms down. Just take your arms and throw them up into James' arms. You're going to get the free throws, and now you get a chance for a 3-point play.
He does that as well as anybody in the NBA. And ironic how a shot where he just kind of flipped it up is one of the few that have gone in. You look at his shooting, and he was 1 for 13 at one point, but his free throws have made a big difference. How ironic is that for Duncan? But he's still not right. You see him, he's trying to keep moving on that ankle. It was the left one that he hurt here tonight. The right one was the one that caused him to miss the 16 games during the season.
Well, when you sprain the ankle, if you stop for any period of time, it has a tendency to tighten up on you and stiffen up on you, and that's what he's doing right there. He's just walking back and forth, waiting till he can get the ball, trying to keep the ankle loose.
Jerome James just picked up his 5th foul, and apparently he's bleeding somewhere, so they had to take him out and attend to him. Collison comes back in. 4:57 remaining here in the fourth. The Spurs lead at 86-84. Can the Spurs be the first team in this series to win a road game? The home team 5-0 so far. And now Damian Wilkins checks back in with Collison, Daniels, Ridnour, and Ray Allen.
Well, the one thing that's consistent with being the guy on a championship team is you can be 0 for 11, 1 for 12, 2 for 14. And you're still going to get your opportunities at the end, and you still have to come through. And tonight, 22 points, most of those at the free throw line. Go figure, he finally makes a field goal and can't make the free throw.
He has 5 assists, he has 9 rebounds, and his team has a 2-point lead. Ray Allen for 3. Rushed it. And it's Spurs ball. Allen now from the field, 11 of 23.
Isn't it amazing, Mike, that Tim Duncan, as slow as he can start out, or free throws, field goals, but at the end of the game, it's usually 23, 24 points, 10, 11 rebounds, 3 or 4 assists.
Ginobili. You can't ever tell if he's having a good game or bad game. Parker. Oh, pretty play from Parker. And the lead up to 4.
That's kind of his signature move. Putting this beach out the dribble, and then before the big guy has a chance to come over, just float up a little teardrop.
Collison doesn't want to take the shot. Ridnour, Nice feed to Collison.
He really runs the pick and roll very well. We're talking about a guy we mentioned earlier, only in his second year, his first year as the man in charge, only going to get better making those type of decisions.
Two terrific young players for the Sonics. Bowen for three. And Collison has a rebound knocked away. Wilkins comes up with it. Allen looking to push. And a foul on Manu Ginobili. That's the fourth team foul against the Spurs and the third against Ginobili.
Well, we talked about making good decisions in the playoffs. Nick Collison made one there by not shooting that shot. And then Ridenour forcing Tim Duncan to come out and guard him. Nick Collison rolling right to the front of the rim and get an easy deuce. So they're going to jump him.
Allen kicks it out. Wilkins for three. It's good. Sonics back up by one. It is so loud in here as Ginobili loses it. But Ori gets it back. Parker got away with a travel, and they call it. You couldn't hear the whistle. I said you couldn't hear the whistle.
I can't hear you. It is amazingly loud in here. This crowd is going nuts. And we're going to probably see a pick and roll again here with Luke Ridenour and Nick Collison. See if they jump Ray Allen out on the top.
These fans so desperately want this season to continue. Allen kicks it out.
Oh my goodness.
Ridenour for three. And Ginobili with a long rebound.
I'd expect the crowd going crazy. Seattle on a little bit of a run. That Tim Duncan's got to find a way to touch this ball.
Parker puts it in. Tony Parker with a clutch shot. And the Spurs back up by one. 14 for Parker. This fourth quarter has been so close. Largest lead in the period is 4. Wilkins tied up. Ray Allen trying to create some space. Fires an off-balance shot. And a 24-second violation again. The Mariners each are on one hand watching Game 6 as the Sonics trailing by 1. Our Gatorade Cooler Talk, it's all about Tim Duncan.
Well, he's always the focal point when you play the San Antonio Spurs. And in the first half, struggled mightily. Took a hard foul for Danny Fortson. Took another one from Danny Fortson. Is there any other type of foul for Danny Fortson? It's not hard. Right there, sprains the ankle. And then after the sprained ankle, I don't know what happened, but started hitting some shots. Shot right there from the elbow extended. Getting the foul, making sure he gets the foul, and then getting a chance to get to the free throw line for the three-point play. You know, obviously the field goals are not what you'd expect out of Tim Duncan, 4 for 18. But the points are right there, the rebounds, the assists, and making up for the fact that he's not shooting that well with a great night for the free throw line.
He never let it affect the rest of his game. 8 of his 22 in the fourth quarter. Ginobili. Robert Ori for 3. Ori puts it in again.
You could have T-bowed that and paused it halfway through, and you said it's a playoff, it's a big shot. That's 70% chance that's going down.
Daniels gets in, left open for a moment. Antonio Daniels comes back. 2-point game with a minute and a half to play. Ginobili. Shuffle pass to Duncan.
Got another
Count
one.
it, and a foul. Duncan got bumped. Joe Forte looking up. He's going to see whether or not the ball went in, and if it was before the shot, but obviously a continuation.
Well, you're going to get your 2 best players right there. Ginobili trying to find a way to get to the rim. But watch here. Takes his time, and waits till James comes over. I thought that was a great job by Manu Ginobili, who was going, looks like a little bit on the edge, and then all of a sudden, stop.
He wanted to get bumped by every member of the Sonics before he passed the ball. Duncan having a big fourth quarter. Now 10 points in the period as James off the miss. And the Sonics will call timeout. 1:22 remaining, fourth quarter.
Not only that, our toughest matchup is going to be the one that's been tough all game. Ray Allen, Bruce Bowen. Whoever's got him, referee him hard. Rebounding on this play is going to be aggressive. And be ready, okay?
Pressure on everybody.
You don't want to make the wrong call. You don't want to have somebody win a game and lose their season because of the wrong call. You want to make sure these guys are in the proper position and looking for the right things.
Daniels goes right to the goal. Play from Antonio Daniels. He's got 21, and it's a two-point game. What an aggressive play from the former Spur. Ginobili with 8 on the shot clock. Ginobili makes the move. And a blocking foul in the restricted area. And Ginobili will shoot 2.
He does such a great job of finding contact.
James is fouled out.
Now you can see him clearly inside the, that wasn't even close. And the body's turning. That's a foul regardless. I don't care where he's at.
He is not only in the restricted area, but then turns.
That's a foul at half court. That's a foul at three-quarter court.
That's why they put that restricted area in there, so when players drive, you avoid injury. Now, Ginobili's missed some free throws tonight, and misses another. He's now 5 of 9 from the free throw line. 58.4 seconds remaining. Ginobili is becoming one of the very best at drawing fouls.
Is great at finding your body and moving into the body. And there's no question. He a lot of times, he will drive looking for body contact, not necessarily looking to make the bucket.
Daniels again, this time shut off. Wilkins tied up. Shot clock at 8. Daniels puts it up, shot. Oh, checked in by Collison. Beautiful play from Collison. It's a 1-point game.
Well, that's what you get. Antonio Daniels getting toward the rim, forcing the defense to collapse, opening up rebounding opportunities. And I think right here you got Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili going to be involved in the play somehow.
Duncan, 4 on the shot clock. Duncan, won't go. Rebound Ridnour, and a foul called against the Spurs. Free throws coming up for Seattle with 14.4 remaining. Lavalori with his 3rd foul. And the former Spur, Antonio Daniels, will go to the line.
Well, there was no percentages in what Robert Ory was doing that play. Tim Duncan was already at a rebounding position. The other Spurs were getting back in defense. There was no chance he was going to tip that to anybody else. Make them score a field goal to take the lead.
Oh, and Daniels, who's been so strong from the line throughout the series, misses that. 21 points for Daniels. He's now 7 of 9 from the free throw line. As we mentioned, he played 4 years with San Antonio. He said he learned more from his former Spurs teammates than anyone, especially Avery Johnson. And now with a chance to beat his former team. However, misses the first big free throw. Tie game. And timeout, San Antonio.
What a great game. What What a great season for Seattle. And you would expect nothing less of where this series has gone. It's been home team dominated.
And again, remember, Seattle's playing without Rashard Lewis, their all-star and their second leading scorer. They're playing out without Vladimir Radmanovich, their third leading scorer. Yet they're doing everything possible to extend this series. It has been a magnificent performance from Seattle. They've done such a great job defensively, and they're playing against certainly one of the elite teams of the NBA. You look at Seattle, you don't know what's going to happen next year, Tommy. They have 8 free agents, including their head coach. So a lot of faces might not return, but this has been one of those special, unexpected seasons that the fans have absolutely embraced.
Yeah, and we've seen, the owner, Howard Schultz, sitting here courtside. These guys are making it awfully hard, making the decisions he's going to have to make awfully hard this offseason. I mean, how do you not bring back McMillan? How do you not bring back Ray Allen? How do you not bring back these guys? Such a great season, and hopefully, if you're a Seattle fan, this is just the start.
That's the man who'll make some of the decisions, Howard Schultz. Now remember, Game 3 here in Key Arena, the Spurs had a chance to win it in the final seconds, and they gave it to their main man.
Well, they went right at Tim Duncan against Potapenko, and I think that's a shot. If they got that shot again this time, they would be very happy with. With Potapenko in the game, he plays Tim Duncan so physically that the odds are either he can score on him or draw a foul. I think you have to get him the ball down low.
Neither team has a foul to give. Both teams have a full and a 20-second timeout, so timeouts are not a problem. But the Sonics can't afford a foul. They're hoping for overtime. Orly will inbound. And there's Potapenko on Tim Duncan. Into the hands of Ginobili. They'll hold it for the final shot. Ginobili to Duncan. Duncan puts it in with 0.5 of a second remaining. And the Spurs take a 2-point lead. Timeout, Seattle. But they have plenty of time to get off a quality shot. They'll advance the ball to the front court with the timeout. So this one is not over.
Isn't that what championship teams do? They find a way. And I think Tim Duncan was actually waited a little too long. He was supposed to go a little earlier from the right block to the left block. Opened up the lane. You're going to see right here. He was down here on the right side. Ginobili saw him break open on the left block. Got it to him, and for a guy that's struggled with field goals all night, he sure managed to come up big in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most.
Ginobili with his 7th assist of the evening, and Duncan with 12 of his 26 here in the fourth quarter. Now Nate McMillan diagramming the play. Obviously they don't need a 3. A 3 would win it, but 0.5 of a second is plenty of time to catch and shoot.
Yeah. And over in the San Antonio huddle, they're thinking, let's not let Ray Allen beat us. Let's let somebody else beat us other than Ray Allen.
And, of course, San Antonio had the game last year against the Lakers where Derek Fisher hit the shot with 0.4 of a second remaining. So Seattle will inbound in the front court, can advance the ball, and the Spurs do not have a foul to give.
He was telling Tim Duncan, get over to this side, other side. And they go to the other side, and whoop. I think right here you run some sort of quick zipper action, some sort of quick pick action. If they switch it, the big guy's open. If not, maybe the small guy's open for a quick jump shot.
The Sonics trying to force a Game 7. If they can't score here, their season is over.
But again, if you're San Antonio, Mike, I think you switch things out. You switch things out and don't get caught on the screen. Don't let somebody get a clean look.
And you have to be careful not to foul, especially foul Ray Allen. Allen comes free, puts up a 3. Oh, it just misses. And the Spurs advance to the conference finals.